You don't know
I don't
anything.
even know
We're-
this.
we're live.
This is all new.
Thank you. I will call this meeting to order. Ms. Malforce, would you please call the roll?
President Sphere,
Here.
Vice President Osborne,
Here.
Member Gresham,
Here.
Member Holcomb,
Here.
Member Causey.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you. I will accept a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Causey, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote.
It's Duncan.
Dr. Osborne does have a mic. He just is choosing not to use it.
Oh.
I'm sensitive to that. Last council meeting, they took my mic away. I had to go find one that's strong. Not like it knew.
That motion is approved. The agenda has been adopted. Moving on to 2.1, call for executive session. We are going to go into executive session. I don't need to get, I do. Is there a move? I'll accept a motion to call for executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Osborne. Is there a second?
Second, for the purposes stated.
Thank you. Moved by Dr. Osborne, seconded by Mr. Holcomb. Please vote. Redundancy can be clumsy sometimes. With that, we are now in executive session. Apparently not well. We are going to reconvene the regular meeting. With that, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. And since I have not pre-asked a member of our community to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I will lead. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to superintendent reports. Dr. Baca.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the Governing Board and Executive Team. First of all, it's so nice to be back at the dais with everyone, knowing that we're all fully vaccinated and looking forward to getting back to the business of the district and moving forward. I'm proud to announce that the Madison Elementary District, and thanks to our Wellness Committee for this, we received the Healthy Arizona Worksite Gold Award. And that organization recognizes employers who are making a positive impact on employee health, in the well-being of their employees, their families, and the entire community. And so Madison will be recognized by the Arizona Department of Health Services and will be featured in statewide communications on the Healthy Arizona Worksite Program website. So thank you to our Wellness Committee and everyone who has worked for this award. Just a reminder that this Saturday, June 12th, you have your invitations. Madison Center for the Arts will be hosting the opening of the gallery from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. So if you do plan on attending, please let Rachel know so that we can post it as a social event. On Thursday, June 17th, the Strategic Plan Design Team will be meeting once again. We're continuing our work with the strategic plan, and I'm excited that Dr. Cam has agreed to continue to facilitate that. Not only do we have members that have been part of the design team from the beginning, but I'm excited that we also have new members, parents, staff, community members that will be part of that design team as well. So we look forward to continuously updating you as a governing board on our work with that. Our summer intervention program, the enrollment closes on Thursday. We were able to open up the enrollment for all students, and we sent communications to our families yesterday. We did the invitation of the students most in need, and there was still room left. So we have currently about 250 that have enrolled in our summer program that begins 2 weeks from yesterday. And then thank you to Nicole Rodriguez and Jacqueline Goen. They have started what is going to be called a Parenting Future Focused Kids podcast. And I don't know of any other school district that will be having a podcast. But the podcast is going to focus on such topics of social emotional wellness, early childhood education, nutrition and physical wellness, as well as social media, independent learning, and much more. So the recordings are going to begin this month, with the first episode released late this summer on our website, with the hopes of eventually having it accessible through a streaming service such as Spotify. So I look forward to that podcast up and running and growing. And then finally, thank you to Ms. Gossett. As you know, we always have a principal representative on the executive team to help us keep focused on what the needs of the schools are. And this was a very unusual year. As a matter of fact, I joked with Ms. Gossett that this is the first and last time that she'll be sitting here at the dais the way in which she's sitting. And so I just want to thank her for her service and doing a fantastic job in representing the principals and in working with the principals during this difficult time. We couldn't have done it without her leadership and with the principals that she represents. And I just want to announce that Maggie Rodriguez, principal at Madison Park, will serve next year as the principal representative on executive team. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Baca. Moving on to 4.2 governing board member reports, I am going to start on my right. Ms. Kazi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to formally express my gratitude. I think it sometimes takes you a few weeks when you finish something to fully start to appreciate the complexity and just the levity of what we all went through. And I think it's still going to take a much while longer, maybe a year or two. But it is humbling to start to comprehend just what our administrators, our staff, our students, and our families put into this past year. And so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. What we do is really important, and you guys all showed up, and not only showed up, but were exceptional, despite all the issues that you were facing in your own family lives, because we all had that. So again, just very much want to express my gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Osborne.
Yeah, I can't say it any better than Ms. Kazi. It was really nice to get back in the Madison Center for the Arts and have real graduations. And, I do like the fist bumps now. They're far more efficient, and the amount of Perel I need has been reduced considerably. And as a board member, was the one thing, and I think the other board members who have kids in the district, the best thing we look forward to is hugging our kid when they cross. And I was gypped last year. Cooper was lucky he didn't get to be humiliated by me, but I think it's, to what Mitra said, it's just really great. It was a nice end cap to a very tough year, but each week it seems like we're getting closer and closer to normal, and having no masks or masks as an option and being together and close because we've taken the right steps is really encouraging. And I'm really encouraged and excited about the upcoming year and kind of building back stronger, going through a trauma, and just really using that as fuel for our future growth. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Gresham.
Thank you. I'm just happy to hear that we're able to invite everyone for summer school or that needs to, and looking forward to a reset button when we start in August, and hopefully we'll get everyone that wants or can have a vaccine. We have a event coming up, right? Sorry,
Yes,
Dr.
that is
Baca.
correct. On this Friday and Saturday, the Phoenix Union School District, in partnership with other school districts, are hosting our events. And the closest place for students to receive vaccinations, or anyone 12 and up, is in the Osborne School District, Osborne Middle School.
Okay, it's the Phoenix Union one that's coming up. Yep, so I think that's it. Have a great summer. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. Mr. Holcomb.
Yeah, just real quick, Mitra, I thought what you said was perfect for what we do. For me, I've always been very proud of Madison School District. I've never been prouder than this year. I mean, it was just how people went through this and took responded. It's just been phenomenal. And Priscilla, Ms. Gossett, it's nice to have you finally up here. I missed. But I really do appreciate your service. I've always appreciated you as a principal, and I look forward to having Maggie, Ms. Rodriguez, here as well. And I'm also very much looking forward to getting back into Madison again this weekend. I'm looking forward to that move towards the new normal. I want to report the cactus program that works at the park has been really firing up for this fall, and we're looking forward to the ability to be able, however that looks, to be able to get back on campus and start interacting with the kids. That's the best part of going back to normal, is being able to interact with the kids. So thank you.
Thank you. I don't have anything to share except my gratitude as well for all of our staff, all of our administrators, and our families. This year has taxed everyone in both physical and emotional ways, and I appreciate the efforts to find the common ground and to find the balance that has been necessary for us to navigate all of the issues that we had to face as it pertains to making sure that kids continued to learn and that their needs, both social, emotional, and academic, were met during a really impossible time. And I believe that the Madison School District has really found that middle ground. When I look at school districts across the nation and I hear about, for instance, that school is not even guaranteed in the fall, in Los Angeles, for example, it makes me cringe, and I am so grateful for the efforts that have been made by Dr. Baca, Ms. Gossett, Dr. Lomeli, Ms. Marshall, Ms. Garvey, and everybody in this district. I'm just so grateful. So with that, we will move on to any calls to the public. Ms. Malfors, are there any calls to the public? Thank you. Now we will move on to our consent items. I will accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. Moved by Dr. Osborne, seconded by Ms. Causey. Please vote. That motion passes. Moving on to information items, 7.1, Madison Education Foundation. Dr. Baca, could you please introduce this?
Thank you, Madam President, members of the Governing Board and Executive Team. As you know, we are very fortunate to have an educational foundation focused on promoting arts education for our students and community. Tonight, Ms. Amy Marshall, the director of the Madison Education Foundation, is going to be providing an update to the on you regarding the foundation. And as she comes forward, I also wish to just acknowledge that this is her last report as she is moving on. And Ms. Marshall, I don't know how much, and I'm sorry, Ms. Marshall, I don't know if I can find the words to thank you for taking this on and doing a phenomenal job, and I think the board's going to express that. So while it's a report from the foundation, I think it's also an opportunity to honor you. And I'm so glad that while you said no the first time, I persisted and asked a second time when you said yes, and it worked out, and we are better because of that. So with that, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. I don't know if I know how to work this. I'm just going to hit the arrow.
Ms. Marshall, I don't know if your mic is on.
Oh. Is it on? Oh, there
Yes,
we go.
it is. Thank you. I just wasn't hearing you.
So,
quite.
Madam President, Governing Board members, Executive Team, thank you for this opportunity. I'm so delighted to be here in person and not on a screen, looking at you on a screen. So this is an experience, one we have not had for a very long time. And I'm delighted to close out the 2020-21 school year with you all and show you some things that we've been up to. It was definitely an interesting year, one that was unexpected, but it also brought about opportunities for the foundation to take a step back and do some board development and some other administrative duties that we didn't really have time to do. So our executive board right now for the foundation is President Megan Burke, Treasurer Bridget Finley Green, and Secretary Joseph Brophy. Brandy Carter was our treasurer, and she has stepped off. You will look at our board of directors. We have quite a few new names, as well as our school liaisons, and I'll get to our new names. We still need a school liaison for Campbellview and Park, and I'm sure next year that will come to fruition. So my update today, we're going to talk about board development, community awareness projects, the Twyford Grant, arts and education teacher grants, the Reviver license plate partnership, Art Masterpiece, and what I call Made in Madison. Board development, so we took some time this spring since we were on hold for in-person fundraising and decided to go after the best of the best. And I think we have 5 really stellar new board members that have a very diverse skill set, and I think will really enhance the foundation, not only in fundraising efforts, but in community awareness. And after our last gala in 2019, when we were on a roll and then the world kind of stopped, and so we kind of went back into the shadows, we need to come back out. And I believe that these 5 new members and additions will help us get there. Alicia England, who's an artist, her art is hanging in the gallery, so and she also lives in Madison. Jennifer Cosper, she has, I believe, 2 kids in Madison. Quentin Kushner is also at Heights, and he started, I believe, the Dad's Club there. Rob Davidson, a parent of an MTA, owns his own marketing firm, and Dan Santabanez, who is with Wells Fargo and also has a son, I believe, now at Meadows. He transitioned from Simas. So good group of people. So things were different this year. We did not have any in-person events, and we wanted to find a way to bring the arts to our families in a safe environment for them to do at home. You know, something to look forward to bring some joy. So there were 3 different things that we collaborated on with the Center for the Arts. The first was the action painting masterclass, and we handed out free supplies to 100 Madison families who came through the drive-through, and I was there handing out canvases and paints. That was really well received. We got a lot of great feedback on that, and those are things that I'm hopeful that the foundation will store in a virtual library for people to access at home. I think again, another great opportunity that came out of COVID is that now we have virtual events, if you will, that families can do together at home versus gathering everybody out into the car and having to go somewhere. And you know the whole drill with kids. Zuzu Acrobats, who did come to the Madison, also did a 30-minute demonstration. We had that for our teachers to get online during school hours to watch that with their classes, and then also for families to enjoy at home. And then the Madison put on the Mariachi Sold in Mexico, and that was a free master class for students to come in. All of these things are ideas we had that, although we have done master classes, we have not really put anything out virtually. It was always in person. You have to come here, you have to go there. And I think we have a window of opportunity to harness some other type of ways that we can showcase events, particularly through the Madison. Something I'm extremely proud of is the Twyford Grant. In April, we received a grant for $25,000 from the Twyford Foundation to purchase specifically new risers and acoustical shelves for the Madison Center for the Arts. I reached out to all of our arts teachers and asked them to create a wish list with their top 3 items that they would want for the Center for the Arts. And every music teacher that got back to me, and choral teacher, it was acoustical shelves and risers. I thought there's no way. I mean, I know the price tag on these. And we had other items as well. And the Twyford Foundation said, you know what, your risers are 20 years old and you don't even have acoustical shelves. And then parlay that with our new ASU community partners, Phoenix Boys Choir that come in, Phoenix Youth Symphony, and it was a home run for us. So and they were just delivered last week. So they're just in time for any events that will happening, any renters for the summer at the Center for the Arts, and then our schools and community partners to use during the school year. And I believe this was the first grant of that size for the foundation to receive. So hopefully.
I see they're stepped. Do they also create a solid stage too? Yep. Oh my gosh, those are amazing.
So it's a 4-step riser with the back rail and the side, and then the acoustical shelves are portable. And I believe it's the exact one that's in the picture that can be put around on the musical group. So we're very excited that they actually came in. So the Center for the Arts is good to go, at least in that area. Arts and Education Teacher Grant. So during this time when I reached out and asked for the wish list, we did not roll out the Arts and Education Teachers Grant this fall like we normally would do. Teachers were just bombarded with emails and at-home learning and then possibly in-class learning, and it was just a lot for them. And we thought, we'll just see if anybody comes to us and ask. We would definitely put it through our grant process. But because I reached out to everybody on behalf of the foundation and asked what their wish list was, there was some feedback that came back, and a lot of the music teachers wanted a podium for the Center for the Arts, which again, our community partners can use. We had art supplies from teachers, a drum set rug, lumber to build tap dance boxes. Mr. Holcomb has so greatly given his time that he's going to help construct. And we also helped bring out renowned author Roni Ashford Capon to Madison #1 Spanish immersion for them to experience art, music, and culture in a virtual Bolero presentation, which was really fabulous for us. So to the tune of $5,500, and not even rolling out, our standard grant process. So I can only be hopeful that this coming fall, when hopefully we are all back in the classroom, that'll look more like $10,000 to $15,000. And I have a feeling we're gonna hit that number this coming school year. Reviver Digital License Plate Partnership. I don't know if any of you all know, but there are very few states, in fact, I can tell you two, California and Arizona, that have these digital license plates. Don't ask me how they work. I know it's Wi-Fi. They came to us because, I don't know if you all know, but the foundation is, we receive the monies earned from the education license plate. So all support our schools. Those monies come to us, and then we send that on to the Arizona Community Foundation to give grants to Title I teachers, first and second year teachers who work at Title I schools, I should say. And so Reviver approached us and said, hey, you happen to be the foundation that's a recipient of this. Would you be interested in partnering with us on these digital license plates? And I said, as long as I don't have to be your spokesperson and tell people how they work, we're in. So in talking with them, I just had some ideas that I thought would be really great. We are the only school district that receives the funding from that. So I think that Madison should have the opportunity to show their support on these license plates. So the license plate, it's a license plate that goes on your car, but it's digital, run off of Wi-Fi, so you can customize it any way you want. And in fact, if your car gets stolen, I guess the word stolen goes up on the license plate, so people know. Although maybe they might think it's a personalized license plate that says stolen, I'm not sure. But I thought, how great if we could have Rose Lane Rockets, or Madison families could choose whatever school they're supporting. And it's just for Madison. There's no other school district that has this opportunity. So they're working through ADOT right now, but currently the regular Support Our Schools license plate is for sale, and they're working to customize it just for Madison, since it would only seem fair that we receive the funds, so maybe we could get a little edge up on that. And I think they're probably going to do that. I know ASU's into that and doing it with them, as well as the Susan G. Komen as well. So we're right up there with some of the real top people, so that was kind of exciting. And we've worked out, I think it's a 3-year agreement with them to receive a portion of their funding. Art Masterpiece. So this was a year that we did not have Art Masterpiece, obviously, in the classroom. And I will say that this was a little bit of a blessing in disguise for us. Art Masterpiece, the way it was in the past, was very archaic. You had to go to the warehouse to pick up a packet to take it to the school. There was a lot going on there. So Leanne Spangler, who has been this hidden gem, who has just really risen to the task for Art Masterpiece, has so far 114 folders have been scanned and put in or created. So we are now digital. We are in 2021, everybody. And all of our teachers and Art Masterpiece coordinators for school and volunteers can now actually access Art Masterpiece via Google and download whatever they need. And she has just been stellar and relentless at doing all of this year. This would never have happened had we not had COVID, because the program would have just kept running and she just didn't have the time to do it. So this was something positive for the foundation, along with other things that came out of this. So we're very excited about that, along with, you'll see at the bottom that she talked about accompanying art project ideas that have been added thanks to Pinterest. So she's really taken it to the next level, and hopefully in the future we will be able to align that with core curriculum. And so now our social studies teachers, our math teachers, different teachers can actually expand upon the curriculum through art, which is enhancing our mission of providing art throughout Madison. My last thing on my update for you is what I call Made in Madison. I know many of you know there are a lot of well-known people that have gotten their start from Madison. I don't know if you know the lead singer of Mr. Mr. the band came from Madison. There you go. Many of you do. But someone I think most of us know is Adie Bryant. She was in Saturday Night Live. She's now on the hit show Shrill. And so I've reached out to everybody. Everyone has anybody who's anybody that's from Madison has received emails from me, phone calls, direct messages. I've attacked everybody, but she responded along with one other. I'm going to still cross my fingers he might come in time. And I don't know how to play this. I was going to play it. Can I? Hit a button? I don't know. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Hello to all my Arizona Madison friends.
You have to turn it up.
I'm so excited to be here because I'm a true Madison girl. I went to Madison Simus and Madison Meadows. And, for me, that's where so much of my journey in the arts really started. Long before I worked at Second City or Saturday Night Live, I first did sort of skits or sang in the choir at Madison Simus. And my teacher, Mr. Williams, who was a true legend, was so encouraging to me and letting myself be funny in front of the class. And, I proudly was in a production in my cafetorium at Madison Meadows of Annie, where I got to play Miss Hannigan. And I remember getting those laughs was like, for me, a total introduction to what I wanted to do. And I went on many choir trips and got to compete in, singing competitions with my school. But it really taught me that there was like an emphasis and a respect for the arts, and it changed my life, certainly. And I really thank so many of you for being here today, because that's exactly what you're doing, supporting the arts. And I think having strong arts in our public school system is the most important thing. And it's something I've really cherished about being involved in my Madison arts program. So I don't know what to say other than get into your big fat wallets and dish it out. So that we can have more Arizona SNL cast members and all kinds of people, Thank you so much. This is me live from my bedroom telling you to put that money where your mouth is. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
So my hope is that's going to be shown at the next fundraiser for Madison, for the most likely at the gala or whatever comes next. And then I've got one other well-known Madison person that I believe is also, I'm hoping, we're in contact, we're going to send out another video. So there's a lot of Madison really well-known people out there, and they want to give back, although I haven't heard from the lead singer of Mr. Mr. yet, but I'm relentless, so unless I get a no, I just keep going.
So his partner lives in Sedona, is retired in Sedona, so I can help. Yeah,
I'm going to Sedona next weekend.
Yeah, so if you want to knock on his door.
So the next steps, I really do think the foundation has been set up, bright future ahead, 5 new board members. We now have, with Adie Bryant and hopefully some others, that can start to draw some attention. It has been difficult because we did hit a home run in 2019, and then we just had to take a step back into the shadows. And I do think that this coming year will be our chance to reinvent ourselves, and really come out swinging. Something I always say to everybody, you can't hit a home run if you're not standing at the plate with the bat. I think we're standing up. Sorry.
You know you can change your mind because the vote has not been, they could rescind part of the consent agenda item vote.
I just thank you all for being so welcoming, so supportive. It's been a challenge. The foundation, we were at a crossroads. Which way do we go? And I believe strongly in public education, arts education, and I'd like to think that I left Madison a better place and stronger than what it was. So thank you. I appreciate all of you, and your kindness and support has been really wonderful.
Well, Dr. Baca, do you want to, what I was going to say is I have a feeling that my fellow board members might like to say some things about gratitude. So with that, Mr. Holcomb, since you have been the current representative from the board, I would like to hear from you first.
Sure, thank you. Thank you for the report. Considering what we've all been through this last year, that's a phenomenal year for what we've done. And it's largely due to you. I've been around the foundation for 17 years, and it's grown over the time, but you really took it to the next level. It is, and your passion and your approach and your ability to tell me that I need to take my ideas and not do that, well, I thought it shows a lot of good common sense. But it was always such a grand pleasure to work with you and to see your ideas come to fruition. Everything from having Teslas on the patio to gambling and I just hung up the art again that I got at the Alice in Wonderland adventure, and all the things that you've brought, your heart and soul. Can't thank you enough, and I look forward to. I think we'll work together again in the future. And I go down to Quinn Creek a fair amount, so I may see you in the down in Chandler too.
Great.
Make it worth my while. Anyway, thank you so very much.
Ms. Kazi.
Thank you. I just wanted to add a little bit to the accolades I'm sure you'll continue to hear. The things that I really, well, first of all, I feel so blessed that we had the opportunity to have you in our district for the while that we did. We would have loved to have a little more time, but we understand. But I think that what I will look back at and just be so in awe, continue to be in so awe of, is your fearlessness is amazing. Your tenacity is extraordinary. I loved you have this just inherent leadership and charisma that is just something that you own and have, and to watch people follow and make great things happen. It's a really unique gift that you have and you brought to our community, and I thank you for that. You might look back and think you had so much more you wanted to do, but you did so much that I don't know if you'll ever fully appreciate that, but we do, because we've been here longer and we know what wasn't necessarily done in the past, and in the short term that you were here, the explosion of amazing things that happened. So thank you for that, and I also hope to work with you in Chandler at the Boys Choir, just a little pitch in there.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you.
Dr. Osborne.
Well, thank you. I think you had an amazing tenure, and I think as someone who, for my day job, has to go to a lot of charity and other events, I was always amazed. So I've become quite a snob about these because I'm forced to go to law. The ones that you put on were amazing as some of the biggest galas with the small budgets. I mean, that Alice in Wonderland event, I just remember all the board members going, wow, this is a school foundation classy. I mean, it was amazing. The gambling event, we taught a former board member how to play blackjack.
Let's not say gambling.
Thank you, Miss Marshall.
If I'm going to go out, it's not like that.
Hey, sports books are legal now, but that's a different. But it just at the right time to elevate this amazing performing arts center. Our events were equally as elevated, and I just, that's just an amazing feat. And you represented the district so well, and thank you so much. And we were going to lock the door so you can't leave, but we revised that that's probably not the best move. But congratulations, and we're going to miss you.
Thank you. Ms. Gresham?
Hi, Amy. Yes, thank you so much for everything you did. You've definitely taken the foundation in a new direction, and you're definitely leaving it in a much better place. So we did miss all the events in the gala this year, but they were some really good, fun times. And it's great to see, thank you for this presentation, because it really was good to see everything you did do this year. I just have a question for you. Is there anything like that we or the community can do to support either like the license plate program or anything else?
That's a great question. So the license plate program, depending on right now, we'll be getting the word out if they're going to put out these scholarships. And that's also, things are just different this year, with coming out of the pandemic with schools. So I don't know how Arizona Community Foundation is going to roll that out. But in the future, just putting that out there on Facebook, just social media, that's really effective. And those platforms that each of you have as governing board members and executive team, it's very powerful what social media can do. So I would say be an extension of the foundation is really the best thing that you can do when it comes to really anything from events, from simple fundraisers to just wanting to do community awareness, whether it's something we're, charging for or it's something we're just putting out there in the community. Because when you do events, always ask yourself 3 questions. Am I here to raise funds, raise awareness, or serve? So depending on what those are, it would be great to have the support, from the governing board, which you have always been supportive, but in the future for the next director.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for the foundation, and I'll definitely be getting one of those license plates. Those look really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marshall. I've had the opportunity to work closely with you when you first got hired. And I was so excited to meet you. And then when I did, I was so blown away that I was, almost shocked that we had managed to get you. Not because I don't believe in the foundation or Madison, but because you brought a level of professionalism and also aspiration to the foundation that it had not yet seen, not because anybody previously had failed. It was just not the time yet. And you were able to harness that time. And the Alice in Wonder, when you told me it was going to be an Alice in Wonderland theme, I'm going to be honest, I got scared on that ride as a kid, and I thought, what are we going to do? This could be, but we showed up and we were blown away. And the amount of money that you raised for an inaugural, run at an event with a limited budget was stunning. And it's because you think big and you are able to bring things to fruition in a way that makes others want to come along. And that is an innate skill. That is very difficult to learn. And so wherever you go, you're going to have that level of success. And while I am sad to see you go, I'm sad that we haven't had the opportunities to work more closely together over the last couple of years. I know that your future is as bright as the foundation's because you've left it in this place. And you are leaving Madison better than when you arrived. And you can rest assured that that is an absolute truth. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your service to Madison.
Thank you all.
The staff and our students.
Yes, I have a feeling I'll be seeing many of you. The door is not closed. It's like this, right? So come on down. Come see me.
Who knows?
And we have that as part of the record.
By the way, I do have our next part of our fundraiser. I forgot until this moment. I have this picture of you with a boa constrictor.
Oh,
From one of our, remember, from the Smithsonian event.
I do.
So I think we can raise a lot of money with this picture.
to not show it.
We
I'll pay big.
made you hold snakes. Oh my goodness.
I'll pay big. No, thank you all. I really
Thank you.
appreciate your support and look forward to hearing about all the great things you guys do next year when we're back in person.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Moving on to our action items, 8.1. Dr. Baca.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the Governing Board and Executive Team. Although the state has yet to pass a budget, the Auditor General recognizes the time constraints that school districts are under in order to be able to adopt a budget. The first step in adopting that budget is being able to have a proposed budget for you to consider. And with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to our Deputy Superintendent, Ms. Lori Garvey.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board and executive team. As Dr. Baca said, this is our proposed budget for next fiscal year, so 21-22. And just to give you a few little highlights here, these are preliminary forms that were issued so that we have the ability to at least get our budget passed by the deadlines in statute and to start going. We will have the opportunity, once the budget is finalized, to revise the budget to what it really should be in September. So we will probably have our first revised budget in September. The legislature is still in session and a budget has not been passed, so there really isn't any new news to report other than what I will be going over here. There was some legislation that was actually passed that is reflected in these forms, and that is the modification to the Classroom Site Fund, what we can use those funds for, and we'll go over that a little bit later. This year was we removed the lines for the district additional assistance reduction. So there is not any reduction to our district additional assistance anymore. That's so positive. They did add a line for remote instructional time adjustments should any districts next year offer a hybrid method where the students, when they are learning at their homes or somewhere else, do not count as the 1.0, we would get 95%. So they do have that line in there. And then updating the qualifying tax rate, the tax rate that equalizes that every property pays in the state of Arizona, and the Classroom Site Fund weighted per pupil allocation was set in March. So those things are definite and they are within the budget. Some things, though, that are being talked about and really do seem to be on the trajectory to actually happen that I did include in this budget. And the importance of including these items in the budget is that our overrides are based on our budget limit, and these factors here impact that budget limit. So it's really important that we go into this budget cycle trying to maximize our resources and really account for the things that we do believe will happen. We do believe that there will be an increase to the base support level of 1.21%. That's $52.10 per weighted student count. And then also, there was a funding that was moved from the Classroom Site Fund over to M&O, and that represents $33.82. This current year that we're just wrapping up, in there, the last 5% of the teacher's salary pay increase for the 20 by 20 was paid out of the Classroom Site Fund. This now moves it over to the M&O budget and gives it that permanent funding source that will get the inflation on it every year. There were some Group B weights that were increased. So we have two categories, or two groups, I should say, of special ed categories where it was recognized that the weights should increase. And you can see what those are here. There is a proposed gifted weight, which currently we do not receive any additional funding for gifted through the weights, but there is one that's proposed and it's 0.007. When you, since that actually isn't in the forms to do that, we just increased our ADM, and that actually equates that 0.007 to about 8 students. That's 45,000. So it definitely helps and becomes part of our revenue control limit. And then the transportation support level was increased for inflation, that 1.21%. When we look at these as total dollar amounts, we can see that inflation is $365,000. The transfer from the classroom site fund is $235,000. The Group B weight changes in total were $210,000. And then our reduction in the past for district additional assistance was $400,000. That's restored. So a little over $1.2 million in new revenue shown on this proposed budget. As Dr. Baca presented recommendations that were approved by the governing board at the end of April. I've listed them here. These things were included in the proposed budget. So the categories of the salaries and benefits and the substitute pilot all are in there. Overall, the maintenance and operations budget limit is $39.9 million, and the district additional assistant budget is $9.1 million. I had mentioned that the classroom site fund changed this year. It was voter approved, as we know, in 2001, and it was to last for 20 years. It's hard to believe that 20 years has gone by, but it has. And so the original requirements for that fund, and those were the bucket funds where 20% had to go into certified base pay, and 40% had to go into performance, and the remaining 40% could be off of a menu that you get to select. So the legislature did extend this funding through 2041, and in addition to extending the money, really expanded the use of these funds. So it can be used for class size reduction, teacher compensation. I think the biggest thing that really changed, though, in this is that last bullet, which is student support services, which before it was really directed towards instruction. And now it has broadened to anybody providing service to our students. The total budget limit for next year is $6.6 million. We do have our major federal and state grants. You can see them all here. The ESSER 2 and 3 are up there at $5 million, and then the other funds we continue to get on an annual basis with no significant changes to any of them. We do need to note the average teacher salary, and the average teacher salary of all teachers employed is this year is $56,304. It went up to $57,000. It is a 1.5%. If you look on because that is the salary increase for all teachers. If you look on the budget cover sheet, it will say 2% because they do round everything on the budget. So I'm not trying to present something that's not real, but that's how it shows up on the form, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood we were giving 1.5% and not a 2% increase. So, and that's it. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions from board members? I think that we will just say thank you so much to you and your team for the budget and for your budgetary acumen, which has helped us get through some very rough years. So thank you so much. Moving on to action item 8.2. Dr.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot that was an action item.
I would like to move that we approve the 2021-2022 proposed budget as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. And thank you to my fellow board members for helping me get aligned back to action items. Moved by Ms. Kazi, seconded by Mr. Holcomb. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. Moving on to 8.2, authorized legal proceedings against Crown Castle. Dr. Baca.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the governing board and executive team. As you know, the school district, like many of the school districts, host cell towers located on our property, and we have easement agreements in place with entities to be able to provide that service. As you know, we are going under a rebuild of Madison Park, thanks to the support of our community in voting and passing those bonds. And the agreement with Crown Castle that was originally in place in 2010 expired 2015, and we went year by year. We notified them of the construction, with promises that they would vacate the property by the end of May. That has not occurred, and there isn't faith that administration has that they will meet their now new said deadline at the end of June. And therefore, we need to make sure we have the ability to rebuild Madison Park and not interfere with that construction. And therefore, we're asking you to approve the hiring of a legal counsel in order to seek legal remedies and file a lawsuit and legal proceedings against Crown Castle.
Are there any questions from board members? With that, I will accept a motion.
Madam President.
Yes.
I'd like to move that we authorize all legal action necessary to remove Crown Castle from its premises on which campus?
If I may ask, Mr. Holcomb?
Yeah.
If you could please read the recommended action to make sure that we have everything
Let me
captured.
try that as a change.
Thank you.
I started to read the wrong part. I move we authorize administration to hire Roger Decker of Udall Shumway to pursue all legal action necessary to remove Crown Castle from the Madison Park Middle School site. As such easement agreement authorizing their tenancy has expired, and as Crown Castle has not vacated the premises, and direct legal counsel to seek damages arising from Crown Castle's holdover on district property.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. You have the full support of the governing board. Moving on to 8.3, Dr. Baca.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the Governing Board and Executive Team. As you know, we publish our annual parent-student handbook. As part of that is the discipline matrix. The primary change to the discipline matrix that we're asking you to approve in order for us to publish it in our student and parent handbook is to update the sexual harassment to the new Title IX requirements that we must comply with at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions from governing board members? With that, I will, Mr. Holcomb.
One question, was there also a change relating to vaping paraphernalia, adding that in one part, a clarification?
Thank you, Mr. Holcomb, Madam President, members of the Governing Board and Executive Team. Yes, we also were more clear, although we felt as though it was covered under that. We were very clear about the vaping products that are also prohibited on our campuses.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I will accept a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Dr. Osborne, seconded by Ms. Causey. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. Moving on to 8.4. This is where we may break with, I'm going to ask Dr. Baca if he'd like to introduce this item, but he may actually, he's nodding his head no, so I will go ahead and introduce this item. In accordance with Section 3.2 of the superintendent's contract, the board may choose at its discretion to award the superintendent performance-based pay based on achievement, the superintendent's evaluation, substantial progress towards meeting the agreed-upon goals of the district. The governing board had an opportunity to meet in an executive session, and I can say that the executive session was to evaluate the superintendent, and as a result, we have, now I'm walking a fine legal line. We had an evaluation, and I'm going to offer an opportunity for, prior to the motion, to have governing board members, actually, no. Please bear with me, anybody who's watching, because as board members, we have to be very careful about what we say in relation to what was discussed in executive session. So I don't want to break the law. As such, I believe, unless there is an objection from my fellow board members, that we will vote on this item and then have any comments after. With that, I will accept a motion to award the performance-based pay as presented.
I move to award Dr. Baca the performance-based pay as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
If I may, Madam President?
Yes.
I just want to clarify that the performance-based pay as presented is awarded in the full amount allowed under the contract.
Yes. Dr. Osborne, before we vote?
No, I think I answered my own question.
Okay.
Given the limitation on the item, the only thing we can discuss is the performance
Yes.
based pay.
Yes.
Right.
No. This is only relation to performance-based pay. Okay. So with that, I'll accept a motion. Wait, we had a motion. It was moved by Ms. Causey, moved by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Ms. Causey. So please vote. That motion passes unanimously. And again, I want to thank everyone for their patience as I muddle through this particular one. There are very strict rules related to open meeting law and ARS, Arizona State statutes, with regards to what is discussed in executive session and what can be shared outside of that executive session. So I was stumbling along because I wanted to get to the point where we were able to actually share our thoughts about Dr. Baca's performance over this last year. So with that, I will offer an opportunity for board members to share their thoughts. Ms. Causey.
I would like to recognize Dr. Baca for leading us, guiding us through a particularly challenging moment in history. We had a lot of meetings where the information was in real time, and you always presented it, I think, in a very thorough, clear way, not only for the board, but for our community, which was also trying to navigate this at the same time. You did it in a way that was fair, that was transparent, that was kind. And I think we will look back at this time and have even a better appreciation for how well you led our district. So I want to thank you for that. And I think I can speak for the board when I say that we very much feel very lucky to have you as our superintendent. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there other board members? Thank you, Ms. Gresham.
I would also just like to thank Dr. Baca and being the newest board member. I just think you led us through this crisis really with skill and compassion, and it really showed your commitment to Madison and to everyone in the community. So thank you.
Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, I think the name of the payment, it says it all. Performance based. I thought your performance was extraordinary through this process. Well guided, centered on your values and true care for Madison staff, administration, and the community, your leadership. Because I thought the performance of everyone in Madison, I was so impressed with everyone, and that starts at the top. So, as with the rest of the board, I want to thank you for that, and the performance-based pay was clearly earned.
Thank you. With that, I would also like to share my own comments, and that is that this has been a most difficult year for all superintendents and for all staff and all teachers and all students and families. That said, your ethics, your communication strategies, your willingness to be transparent, even when that makes it more difficult, has led us to this point where we are now able to turn around and say how grateful we are for your leadership and for your performance, which has been extraordinary under pressure. So I'm very grateful to be able to vote yes on this. Moving on to future meetings, Dr. Baca.
Thank Thank you, Madam President, members of the Governing Board and Executive Team. The one item that you're going to see is for a special meeting that we will have on June 22nd. That is to be able to approve the budget that you just proposed. It gives time for any type of public comment that people would like to make regarding the proposed budget, and therefore having that public hearing. We may have a consent agenda item regarding personnel as we continue to work on filling any vacancies that we may have. And then finally, our next regularly scheduled board meeting with some weeks off would be July 27th. So you don't see many items on there, but I'm sure that will fill up quite quickly. So I just ask that you be patient as we readjust some of our board prep meeting times that are already on your calendar. I'll be working on that to be able to make sure that we get them back aligned to when our future board meetings are.
Thank you, Ms. Causey.
I just want to make sure that it's clear that I will be calling in for that June 22nd board meeting. I'll be out of state. Thank you.
I will actually be having to call in if I am available on the July 27th. I believe I'm actually flying that evening. I'm going to try and figure that out.
Okay.
Either way, I will be, if I am here, it will be calling in. Any other questions or comments?
I have a quick question with regards to, so the public comment for our next meeting on the budget, all the documents are available on board docs? Where would the public find
Ms.
all
Gresham, Madam President, members of the board and executive team, on board docs you have the proposed budget. That is there now. We publicize that, so it's on our website. And then with the adopted budget, that too will be published on board docs as well as on our website.
Thank you. So everyone's able to view that.
Thank you. With that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Causey. Please vote. This meeting is adjourned.